How's it going, everybody? So in this video I'm going to be discussing my recent experience with a different form of Tongkat Ali, also known as Longjack. So I previously made a video talking about taking the Tongkat Ali capsule from the brand Solar Ray, specifically because that was a brand that was recommended by Andrew Huberman. And I actually had that brand of Tongkat Ali kind of sitting in my cabinets for a number of years, long before Andrew Huberman even became popular. And I was taking that, and I had some pretty great benefits for the first couple days, and then it started to cause restlessness, anxiety, and some pretty significant problems. So I decided to try a more standardized extract. So now I'm trying the 100-to-1 Tongkat Ali extract, and I gotta say the effects are completely different from what I experienced from the Solar Ray brand. Okay, probably because it's a completely different potency. The other one wasn't even didn't even say that if it was an extract. The other one had just said that it was the whole root powder. Whereas this one is 100-to-1, so that means they take 100 pounds of the herb and concentrate it down into 1 pound. So let's see here. So and this is by NutriCost. They claim that it's third-party tested and everything, and I have no reason to believe that this is fake. I've had plenty of other supplements from NutriCost, and it's generally almost always genuine. So anyway, what did I experience so far? So first of all, it's only been 2 days that I've taken it. I took 1 scoop yesterday, and I took 2 scoops today. Every scoop of this 100-to-1 Longjack extract contains 250 milligrams per scoop. So here is what I experienced. So yesterday I don't really remember too much effects from taking it, but today I took it. I took 250 milligrams first thing in the morning with my pre-workout supplements, which included like 600 milligrams of caffeine, cordyceps, and all sorts of energy boosting supplements. When about 30 minutes to an hour after taking it, I just felt so tired and sleepy and relaxed. People might be wondering how the hell that could be possible with 500 milligrams of caffeine on top of cordyceps. You should be bouncing them off the walls. Well, the same thing happened when I would take rhodiola in excessive amounts when I first started that. And I made a video talking about how rhodiola put me to sleep. And at that time, I tried taking a ton of caffeine to try to pump, get me over the sleepiness that rhodiola was causing, and it just didn't work. Well, it seems like Tongkat Ali has the same effects. And just a little side note on that, I was taking too much rhodiola. If you take a small amount, you'll find that it doesn't cause sedation. Anyway, Tongkat has a similar relaxing effect to where, I'm taking all this caffeine, I'm like, it doesn't even work. I don't even feel the caffeine. So I feel really tired. After my workout, I wasn't feeling that bad, but the tiredness was there. But I decided to take another serving of the same Tongkat Ali with my post-workout, right now I'm doing whole milk and egg white protein powder, just as current kind of experiment I've been doing lately to see how fast I can get my squat up. So far I've been adding 5 pounds to my 1 rep max almost every single day, doing a Bulgarian method combined with a gallon of milk a day. But I also put on quite a bit of body weight. Just in a matter of 5 days, I put on 10 pounds. Pretty crazy. Anyway. And yeah, I can't see my abs. But, So yeah, it created a pretty unmistakable feeling of tiredness. So again, that's taking 250 milligrams in the morning, you know, pretty much completely negated the effects of the caffeine and all the other stimulants and things I took. I still hit a 5-pound PR on my back squat, and I tried going up another 5 pounds, and I ended up failing it. And I think I could have gotten it, but I had like the mental fatigue that at the time I thought it was like, oh, it's because I'm doing the Bulgarian method. It's the neural fatigue everyone talks about. You know, you're gonna have good days and bad days, but you know, I think it was purely a mental thing. I was like, I just don't feel like grinding out another PR set. I think I could have done it though if it wasn't for the fatigue I was feeling. And then of course I hit my bench press and my pause bench, and lately I added like 10 pounds on my pause bench doing Bulgarian, but training bench every other day. So I'm at like 275 pounds now for like an RPE 8, so that's 2 reps in a tank. And today I hit 270, and I was like, man, I feel like going home. I just felt so tired, even though I hit 270 pretty easily, and I could have easily gone 275 and probably hit 280. In fact, I feel like I probably hit 300 already. But, you know, obviously not going to try that unless I have a spotter and whatever. And also, I'm not really concerned about bench. But regardless, the point I'm trying to make is even with all my normal death metal and, you know, deathcore really is what, you know, and then like my hardcore stimulants and shit, man, I just felt so tired. Went home, took another serving of Tongkat, mostly just to see, well, is the Tongkat that's causing it, right? That's typically what I'll do. Like if I experience some pretty weird effect from a herb or whatever, or any significant noticeable effect from a herb, sometimes, especially if I'm like, that doesn't make sense that herb would be causing that effect, right? Then I will try adding more just in the short term to really try to see, is it really that herb that's causing it or that supplement? And it's not the best way to test supplements, but, you know, most people are taking a shit ton of different supplements at the same time, and no matter what they do, they won't be able to isolate a certain supplement to figure it out. But for me, that's what I do. So anyway, I took the extra serving, and I felt like I wanted to go to bed. It was crazy. Like, I literally was laying on my bed, and I could not get up. Luckily, it's a Sunday, and I have jack shit to do other than, like, a paper to get me registered for school this spring. But man, I tried getting them. I felt so heavy. It was crazy. And consumed a large amount of caffeine, or like, you know, another pot of coffee, whatever. You know, ate some food, got some salt in my system, you know, tried adding some honey, see if that kind of like boosted it. You know, maybe it's hypoglycemia or something. So there's some people that claim that Tongkat Ali lowers blood sugar and that's the cause. I don't think so. You're going to experience like some pretty bad side effects if you have hypoglycemia. You're not just going to feel fatigue, trust me. And I don't think it's low blood pressure because, for one, I've consumed plenty of salt since the end of my workout. Second of all, I don't feel like I'm going to pass out every time I stand up, which is, you know, usually subclinical hyponatremia or low blood pressure. Here's what I think is going on. First of all, you got to understand, you know, this has been my experience that it is true, like herbs and supplements and nutrition, different nutritional strategies really do seem to affect different people differently. Generally, though, there's an average effect that you can expect. Sometimes there might be 2 to 3 completely different significant effects from a herb or supplement or nutrition protocol. And just depending on your own genetics, maybe you'll fall into one of those 3 different effect groups, right? Like, and so for example, you know, Tongkat Ali is supposed to cause energetic feeling and increased libido and stuff like that, or so they say, right? And that's supposedly the effects that they're putting a label on. But that doesn't talk about the mechanism, because the underlying mechanism of action that's supposed to give you those effects can affect different people differently, right? And so Tongkat Ali might make some people energetic and all that shit, but other people report that it makes them tired, lethargic, unmotivated, and sleepy. And some people report kind of like no real benefits at all, no real effects. Now, of course, just like with a lot of these herbs, especially herbs that have a wide variety of different potential effects that people report anecdotally, there are a lot of different versions of Tongkat Ali. And different versions will affect you differently. Just like I took another version like last month that I made a video about, and it just gave me energy and all this stuff, and then eventually it gave me kind of like overstimulation problems where I had to take a rest. This one has a complete opposite effect. So, you know, when we're talking about, well, you know, this supplement gave me like negative side effects or whatever, you got to consider, well, what form are we talking about comparing here? As I pour my delicious yerba mate. The yerba mate brand I'm pouring right now is called Fiore. I can't even pronounce that. I'm not from Argentina, Brazil, or Uruguay, or whatever. Anyway, damn it. Yeah, I literally feel high as shit right now, is I guess a good way to explain it. But just tired and like really, really relaxed, maybe is a better way of putting it. It also kind of makes me feel a little sad, right? So anyway, here's the thing. I just started taking this, but the effects are so noticeable, I had to make a video real quick. And something like this, especially that is reported and documented to work on your hormones, you know, which, by the way, main mechanism of action with LJ100 or Longjack, it's supposed to hinder sex hormone binding globulin or suppress sex hormone binding globulin, which in turn should free up more testosterone. There are some websites that I think are trying to sell Tongkat, and they're claiming that it also is supposed to stimulate luteinizing hormone on lytic cells or something like that, but I don't know about that, but I have definitely seen multiple sources claiming, suppression of sex hormone binding globulin and or lowering of estrogen just directly. So I don't know about all that. And it's possible that maybe my estrogen is just like too low as it is, and maybe that's why a lot of these supplements that's supposed to increase testosterone and all that work this way on me. I don't know, because I've had these exact same effects from rhodiola and from ashwagandha. This is a very similar feeling, and this feels more like rhodiola than ashwagandha, but it's all a very similar effect. Like, I wouldn't say I feel horrible, I just feel too fucking calm, too relaxed. I don't feel like doing jack shit. Like, I just feel like laying down and either scrolling through Facebook or reading research on exercise protocols, or just like laying and doing jack shit. It's pretty bad, actually. So, Reishi has a similar effect too, but Reishi is really strong and it has more nostalgic, sadness boosting qualities. So I don't know exactly what the common denominator is with all of these. Maybe it's different. Maybe it's completely different mechanisms, and they're doing different things, but they're just making me feel a similar way. I don't know. You might describe this feeling as more serotonin is what it seems like. A lot of the serotonin boosting type compounds, supposedly, right? We don't know exactly if it's serotonin. They make me feel this way. And dopamine boosting shit makes me feel the opposite. But what it probably is it's lowering cortisol. I think that's probably it. Literally anything that has, documented cortisol suppressing effects makes me feel depressed, makes me feel tired and relaxed, and makes me just like unmotivated. And I've had some pretty bad experiences with cortisol lowering herbs, you know. But here's another thing is I have noticed the dose seems to be the important factor. So here's kind of, I guess, what I'm going to do moving forward. I'm going to definitely lower the dosage. Now, tomorrow I'm probably not going to take it at all. I'm probably only going to take Tongkat on days I'm not doing jujitsu. There's no way in hell I'll be able to do jujitsu when I feel this way. Lifting wasn't too bad. I just didn't feel the normal pumped upness I like to feel. So maybe since I do my lifting in the morning, take the Tongkat in the evening time, like after all my training, and I'm gonna try lowering the dose. So, you know, today I started off with 250 milligrams pre-workout, then I took another serving afterwards. So I'm probably just gonna take 100 milligrams in the morning. Like I'm gonna cut the dose in half. I've read people seem to feel like less is more with Tongkat, and people talk about just taking a dash of it. Like a lot of people seem to believe that 200 milligrams even is too much. So, and I suspect it's highly individual, and it's supposed to take a while to kind of develop and stuff like that. So maybe I'll take a dash of it, maybe with my pre-workout, and that might have a completely different effect. Because again, with things like rhodiola, for example, rhodiola, if I took 4 capsules of the Herb Farm brand, and I felt like I wanted to just go to sleep, I wanted to cry. It was pretty bad. I was in jiu-jitsu wanting to cry, and maybe it's also due to other things at the moment. But then if I just took 1 capsule though, instead of 4, which is like way too much, taking 1 of those the rhodiola capsules kind of just made me feel good. Had a good endorphin boost and shit. And these days I take a pretty low dose of rhodiola every now and then. And I'll take the high salicylglycerol content version, rhodiola cantalula. It's a different version of rhodiola. Take that before bed. And it seems to work better that way. Take a small dose of rhodiola for energy and a higher dose for sleepiness, right? So maybe Longjack works in a similar way. So I'm thinking it has to do with the cortisol suppressing effects. Anything that lowers cortisol typically will have this feeling, especially at higher dosages. So I'll just lower it. And when I first took Tongkat, especially the Solar Ray brand, I had sworn that I had noticed a feeling just like this, and that's why I stopped taking it and just left it in my cabinet for so many years. It had made me feel sad and tired and stuff. I'm like, well, shit, I don't want to take that. My girlfriend at the time was like, well, what the fuck's wrong with you? Why are you so, like, you know, crying and, you know, acting all depressed and stuff? I'm like, fuck, I don't know. Maybe it's the Tongkat I'm taking. And she's like, yeah. But I was taking 4 capsules. I was taking 800 milligrams of Tongkat when I was doing that. So, yeah, I will lower the dosage and see what happens, and I'll make an update video. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know in the comment section what you'll think. If you have any experience with Tongkat and you have any maybe advice, maybe any suggestions on what I should do or how I should take it, or what might be causing this, what might be the mechanism, I'd love to hear your thoughts and insights. Talk to you guys next time.